Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this class we learn IELTS Writing Task 2 and I'll give you some tips and techniques of writing IELTS Task 2, which is essay, and then I'll also provide you an outline that you can follow, a template which can be helpful to you, and in the end I'll provide you a checklist to make sure you have done the task according to the criteria given for this task. So before we go any further, please subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon so that whenever I make any educational video, you get its notification. So before we go any further, let me give you an overview of IELTS writing. So in IELTS writing, there are two tasks. One is writing on a graph, chart, pie chart, diagram. So in other words, there will be visual information and you have to convert that visual information into words. And you are required to write at least 150 words. And time that you should give to this task is 20 minutes. Do not give more than that, because if you give more minutes to this, you'll be taking minutes that you should actually be spending on IELTS Writing Task 2. So IELTS Writing Task 2 has more weightage, more marks, so therefore you should spend more time on that. You should spend 40 minutes on that and you should write at least 250 words. And the topics will be for essay, that will be an essay, and the topics will be argue for or against an opinion or a statement. You will be asked to explain a statement. You might provide your own view on two conflicting opinions, and you will be asked to express the extent of your agreement or disagreement. Means how far do you agree or how far you disagree. So when you answer these questions, clearly understand what type of question is that and indicate that. Ideally answer the question in introduction and also answer that question in conclusion as well, and in the middle in body paragraphs develop those arguments, right? So that's an overview. Let's move forward. So here are a few tips. Number one, analyze a question carefully. Make sure you understand what the question is asking. So maybe you'll have to read 2 or 3 times. Read each part of it. Try to understand it fully. Do not make any mistake in understanding the question. So once you understand the question, you must start planning to create an outline. Never write an essay without creating an outline or brainstorming. So you should have ideas before you actually write. And I always ask my students that you should develop essay, actually write essay after you have created complete skeleton of it, complete structure of it, and only then convert that into sentences. So understand the importance of writing an outline, because it will be saving your time. And many people think that no, you'll create an outline as you go on. That doesn't happen, because if you do that, even if you're able to write essay, there'll be so many mistakes that you'll be making. For example, punctuation, spellings, because you'll have to focus on so many things. So at least do not focus on providing material content. You should develop that in an outline and stick to the topic. So whenever you develop an introduction, look at the topic. Is it addressing to the topic clearly? Whenever you write next paragraph, before creating topic sentence, first sentence of the first body paragraph, look at the topic again. And when you develop another topic sentence for the next paragraph, for paragraph 2, again look at the topic and make sure you are addressing to the question. Then in conclusion as well, you must look at the topic again. You must also look at the introduction. Now the idea is that you must address what is being asked. You must be consistent in that, right? So stick to the topic. You must directly answer what is being asked. Okay, use formal language. So words like fine, okay, good, stuff, things, they do not have clear meaning. So do not use these words. Instead, use descriptive words. For example, if you are describing a person, instead of saying he looks fine, say talk about his height, his weight, his complexion. So use descriptive words, words which are easier in visualizing, in other words, right? Do not use too many abstract words. and formal languages. Well, do not use contractions, right? For example, don't write don't, can't. Instead, you must write do not, cannot, because contractions are typically features of spoken English, and essay is formal write-up, so you have to develop in a formal manner, right? So use range of vocabulary. Do not use same word over and over again. For example, if there is a word like realize, you can change the form realizing, realization, so that's a new word, right? If you can't think of another word, changing a form will still give you advantage in this category in vocabulary. So do not use same word over and over again. Do not use any word more than 3 times, right? So if you do that, that will indicate that you do not have sufficient vocabulary and your band will go down, right? Use paraphrasing from question. Avoid taking words. In fact, you shouldn't take words at all from the question, unless, I mean, the words which can't be replaced, the names of some institute, so you may not replace them, but use synonyms, paraphrase, say the question in your own words, right? And also organize in paragraphs. Essay is a format that needs to have its own structure, which is introduction, body, and conclusion. So you must write in the proper formal structure of an essay. Use examples and evidence. Yes, that's really necessary, because in essay, I normally tell my students that essay is actually a trial. You are pleading a case. You have an argument, now you have to explain that argument. Then after explaining, you have to give evidence. You have to provide facts, right? Maybe from your life, maybe from your reading, maybe quote of someone, but you must convince the reader that whatever you are saying is believable, right? So must use examples to evidence to support your argument. Keep it concise, do not ramble, and do not write long sentences. You must know what you are writing in this sentence, and when that what idea you are writing in this or that sentence. If that is done, put full stop and start a new sentence. So do not put comma and go on writing many ideas in one sentence, right? So write clearly and concisely. Then lastly, manage your time. In IELTS real exam, 40 minutes go very quick. So therefore, you must be mindful of that in your practice sessions. You must make sure you are doing this task within 40 minutes. Before you go to exam, in practice session, you should be able to do it even before 40 minutes are over. So if there is any confusion regarding all the tips that I've given you, please write in the comment box, and then I'll get back to you, I'll answer you. Next, writing strategy. So what you should do: number one, read the question carefully, brainstorm ideas. These are the things that we have just spoken, so I will reiterate some important points again. Plan your essay by selecting ideas from step 2. So whatever you have brainstormed, whatever outline you have selected, and then write your essay with a pencil. The reason for writing with a pencil is that it's easy to erase, make corrections. If you write with a permanent pen, then you'll have to erase, but then that would look your writing dirty. It's easier to write with pencil, and it's allowed, so you don't have to worry. In fact, you should start practicing with pencil also, so that it doesn't look surprising for you, or it doesn't look odd to you while you are doing that in the real exam, right? So review and improve your essay. Must proofread. Never submit your essay without proofreading, because there might be so many mistakes like grammar, spelling, punctuation, that you can correct yourself, right? So do that correction and only then submit your essay. Then spend 15 minutes for writing task 1. That is because you have to spend 2 minutes at least, or 3 minutes on planning, and 2 minutes in the end for checking. Similarly, 5 minutes for planning task 2, and 5 minutes in the end for checking, right? So actual time for writing should be 15 minutes and 30 minutes. 15 minutes for task 1 and 30 minutes for the task 2. Right, so as it is an essay, you have to write in paragraphs. So in introductory paragraph, you must paraphrase a question, so that you should, that's introduction, that's where you are introducing what the topic is about. So you will do it by paraphrasing it. So saying the same thing in your words, in other words. right? And do not copy words from the question because they will not be counted in the word count, and that will give you low marks on vocabulary as well. So show the examiner that you have rich vocabulary. You can say same thing, same idea in more than one ways, right? In the body paragraph, there are two main body paragraphs to support both views. In all IELTS topics, there will be two angles, there will be two topics, there will be two sides. So you should devote one paragraph to one idea and the second paragraph to the other idea. This is how you should divide. And each argument, each body paragraph should have topic sentence and supporting evidence. As I said earlier, it's a trial. You have to convince your readers that what you are saying is believable. You can say that, you can do that only by giving sufficient evidence. And in conclusion, you must summarize the main points. You can go to the topic, you can go to your introduction, and you can summarize what you have said and then give the answer. If it's asking you to agree and disagree, say that clearly. Do not just build an argument indirectly. I'll suggest you to write that clearly so that examiner could note down, okay, here is an opinion, right? So say your opinion very clearly. And in the end, optional, you can include one of these in your conclusion as a last sentence. So you can give solution to the problem and prediction, result, or recommendation. In fact, if the question is like give solution, then you'll definitely give solution, but otherwise these can also be helpful ending, quite impactful, powerful ending, and will conclude your essay properly and appropriately. So let's move on. So this is an example of a task, right? So look at it, how it is, read it. I'll read it for you and then we'll discuss about it. Some people do not allow their children to participate in games, sports, or competitions unless everyone gets a prize. Others think that children must learn to deal with winning and losing in order to be fully prepared for life. Now, as you can see, there are two sides. There are people who believe that if there is a prize, children should be allowed to participate in the game. Others believe that there's more than that. Children must learn to face winning and losing, to prepare for life instead of doing it for getting a prize. So these are two sides of the arguments. So you have to discuss both these views and give your opinion. Now, if there is a question of this type, I normally suggest that you can only indicate in introduction that you will discuss both these views and will give opinion in the end. At least examiner will see that, okay, he is aware that there has to be an opinion. You will be given advantage of understanding the task well, and in the end examiner can go and check, yes, here he has expressed his opinion clearly. Now let me show you an example. Now this is an example. I would suggest you to pause this and read this also, so that you can understand that in introduction I have paraphrased, right? And then I have started the next question with one side of the argument, like rewarding participants in sports events brings several advantages. Firstly, it serves, so sports events rewarding, so this paragraph will support rewards. And then second paragraph, however, reports sports competitions offer valuable lessons that extend beyond mere rewards. So now I'm talking about that rewards are not the only thing which should be taken from these competitions. So then I'll give argument about it. So and then in conclusion also I've said the same thing again, and then I've clearly indicated what I believe in. So this is just sample. Read it very carefully. You can also see there are examples given as well. So this can be one of the, models that you can use. So I'll suggest you to take some time, read it, and then go ahead. Right, now let me give you outline that I promised in the beginning. So in introduction, paraphrase the question, state your position on the issue, what you believe in, what's your opinion, state that clearly. Only the type that we have discussed, it's okay. to reserve your opinion till conclusion, but still you must indicate that, so that examiner must know that you understand the task fully well. And give a brief overview of the main points you will discuss. So you will ideally discuss two main points, right? So it's good idea that you can discuss them here. What are your main points, right? This may be optional, but it's still good idea. I mean, last sentence. So two sentence paragraph, three sentences paragraphs should be sufficient for IELTS writing, because you don't have many words to write. So you should divide your task like 45 to 50 words should be okay for an introduction. In body paragraph, state the main point of your first argument, right? And then provide evidence to support your argument. Explain how your argument relates to the question, right? So then conclude that, give a conclude thus, hence, as a result, consequently, and then wrap up your argument, wrap up your idea. Similarly, you will talk about second idea, second topic, second point. Then you will provide sufficient evidence for that to support your argument and explain how your argument relates to the question. So it should be well connected with the topic, with the argument. So last sentence is also helpful. And conclusion, summarize the main points, restate your position, and conclude with a call to an action or prediction. Or four criteria that I gave you, you can compose a sentence on them: result, recommendation, prediction, call for an action can be good ideas to include as a last sentence of your essay. So well, this is one of the templates. There are many available, so I'll suggest you may experiment on others also. So this might also be helpful for you. In fact, if you practice on one, that's easier for you to handle your essay in real exam. Now let me give you a few more additional tips. Use formal language, which means do not use staff, contractions, right? Slangs should not be used, and use range of vocabulary. Do not repeat words. Use paraphrasing, use examples and evidence to support your argument. So in fact, I'm emphasizing over and over again on these things, because examiners will actually look at your examples to make sure your argument is fully developed. So now lastly, I'll provide you a checklist which will ensure that your essay is according to the criteria, assessment criteria given for IELTS Writing Task 2. So task response. So how will you ensure that you have answered this? You are going to get marks on this. That will happen when you fully address all parts of the task. Present a fully developed position in answer to the question with relevant, fully extended and well supported ideas, right? I can't emphasize more. So I have told you over and over again that it's not merely taking a position, supporting that with evidence is really essential. So you must write 250 words, or I mean at least 250 words. You can go beyond that as well. 300 should be limit, I think, because if you write more, there is possibility you'll be make more mistakes if you write more. So do not write more. You are not going to get any benefit by writing more than 250 words. I mean, you should write more because you have to show your language. If you can write complex sentence, compound sentence, compound complex sentence, simple sentence, just within 250 words, you do not need to go beyond that. If you have provided sufficient vocabulary, you do not need to go beyond that. You're not going to get advantage. Sometimes you have to go beyond that because maybe some of the structures may come in the end, right after the limit of words, 250 words. So that's still okay. So that's the only idea of writing more than 250 words. Otherwise, 250 words, you are required to write 250 words, and your assessment will be okay if you do that. So you have to identify the task clearly in the introduction, whatever the task is, opinion, develop, talking about the problem and giving it solution. So identify the task clearly. And is the opinion clear in the introduction and in the conclusion? So you clearly mention your opinion in introduction, and in the conclusion as well. Is each paragraph related to the topic. So as I said earlier, whenever you develop a paragraph, look at the topic again so that you may not make mistake on this. Let's move on. Coherence and cohesion. How will you ensure that you are getting full marks on that, full band on that? So use cohesion in such a way that it attracts no attention. So it shouldn't look artificial. It shouldn't look forcibly put. So you should use it naturally, the way argument develops. So use fully, you have to manage skillfully all these paraphrasing and devices as well. So are the paragraphs clear and well connected, well constructed? Is there an introduction, body and conclusion in the essay? Are there clear topic sentences for each paragraph? Are examples, reasons and results included? Has correct punctuation been used? Are their sentences are their sentences well linked together? So if your answer is yes, you are going to get good marks, good band, good points on coherence and cohesion. And lexical features. So use a wide range of vocabulary with very natural and sophisticated control of lexical features. Rare minor errors occur only as slips. So if you want to score 9, that is your criteria. If you want to score 9 band, right? So your answers should come in positive for all these questions. Has the question been suitably paraphrased? Has consistent repetition of vocabulary been avoided? Is there sufficient use of academic vocabulary? Does the essay contain vocabulary specific to the topic? So make sure your answer is yes. Grammatical range and accuracy. So uses a wide range of structures with flexibility and accuracy. Rare minor errors occur only as slips. So if you want to target 9 band, that's the criteria. And your answers must come in positive for these questions. Has the spelling been checked? Have the verb, tenses and subject verb agreement been checked? Like for example, for he, you're writing has, not have. She has, not she have. So just one example. So mistakes like this can occur, so you must make sure they don't occur. Are the sentences between 15 and 25 words? You don't have to strictly follow this limit, but it means the sentences are well developed. They can be under 15 words as well, so you don't worry about the last question. So these are all main criteria. Now I'm giving you this as homework, so do it and write that in the comment box. I'll get back to you. We'll check, or somebody from from the audience will check that. So with that, we have reached to the end of our task. Thank you so much guys for attending this class. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment and clicking the bell icon. Thank you so much. See you in the next class. Bye bye.